Italian is an Imola native. As a child, he would visit this very circuit and help in the paddock and media center. This circuit is more about technique rather than speed, but that doesn't mean it's slow by any means. The official name of this circuit, Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, was given as a tribute to Ferrari and its son Alfredo Ferrari.
But yeah, here we go. About 9 minutes left of this qualifying session. I got in late because, well, F1 decided to want to be an absolute twat for once. I say for once, not a twat every single day. But Jesler, Gatkowski, Seb, all guys that have actually been in did Imola on a league race on Thursday, and Mango 13-8, currently on top of the pile. About Jenks as he goes to the line now, but he invalidated. He invalidated this and the last lap, so his next lap is a pointless one as well. But yeah, right, here comes Essel to go down towards turn 1. They did a 23.9, but I'd assume... Oh, he got flashing red, so I don't even know if he is going to be able to have a go this time. Take a look and see what else is happening on the track right now. We know Jinx is... Actually, Vessel's currently up on his time, so we're going to stick here for a split second. And Jinx is out. Oh, there's also seemingly a different person crashed there as well. I'm not entirely sure who's crashed there. Looks like it might be a Williams actually, which means it's Damiano. It is a Williams, yeah, it is a Williams. Well then, so Jinx is out. He's going to start from the back regardless unless someone gets disqualified. We watch Vettel go through the last two corners, Volcano 13.7, enough to go up into first for provisional pole with about half of the session to go. We've got Cam, Lucas and Rudy yet to do a lap. All three of them on the track as we go along. Like Lucas had just gone into pit, so he's not going to set a lap. Damiano's still trying to work his car down towards the actual pit lane. Trying to figure out what he's actually doing. As we watch Cam go through the final couple of corners now, see what time he can set. Not going to be the 13 like some of the other guys in the lobby. 14.4 is enough for 5th though. Is enough for 5th. Don't think he'll be too complaining with that. Cucumber comes into the pits. Rudy on a lap. Now he goes through the second to last in the last corner. It's a 14.8. Is only enough for 11th. He's got to pick it up. Damiano is about to start his lap, but I think he might be in trouble later on for stopping in the chicane. Apparently, that's what caused Rudy to crash. Also, it looked like Mustache may or may not have just spun a couple of times there in the second to last in the final corner as well. Damiano has stopped on the track for some reason. We watched Jedler to the line. Also got him up to 4th and Volcano into the pits. Gatkowski. It's actually the guy we're going to watch now. Didn't get to see a lot of him on Thursday. Not until the end of the race anyway. Damiano has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So Damiano is actually going to start from the back. Gatkowski going through the first sector as we speak. I think that's Jedler. Yeah, it is Jedler on an in-lap right in front of him. And to go through sector 2 now, up the hill after the hairpin. And the game's telling me that it's purple for Gatkowski. I'm willing to believe that after what I have seen. Also still expecting Seb to put up a good fight too. Volcano right now currently has a couple of, well, just over a tenth actually on Seb. And just shy of half a tenth on Mango. Gatkowski again. Seb had left the lobby for a split second, so that's why he hadn't gone out again. We got Gatkowski getting all the track available to him and through the final 2 corners. Down to the line he goes. 12, 13, 13, 6 is enough to put him on provisional pole. Gatkowski in charge again. Seemingly, whenever I watch him, he always finds a way. Well then, get to see Gatkowski's in lap. Got a minute or so, I reckon, before other people start to come back out for the last shot. Gatkowski is flying. Alright then, who's the first one back out? I think that's Rudy. We're going to actually watch Rudy because Gatkowski, I assume anyway, is about to head into the pit lane, and I am right. Everyone taking the piss out of Mango. That usually is what happens here, to be fair. Got Rudy, Mustache, and Lucas out on a lap. Cam also out on a lap, and Gatkowski very clearly didn't think he had enough time to get one more going. We'll see what people can do on their outlaps. Just putting it in the channel. Right then, here goes Rudy on his lap. He's the first one of the guys that are on his final flying lap. So we go with about with basically no time left on the clock now. We've got 2 minutes left, so everyone's going to be gearing up for one last shot. Here comes Rudy through the first sector. He's 2 tenths clear right now of his best lap. That would actually not move him up at any positions. He will start 10th regardless right now. We head down to, well, up the hill into the middle of the second sector and then back down the hill towards Aqua Minerale. And he's invalidated. He has shanked that Aqua Minerale there. That's not pleasant. That is not pleasant. So, is Mustache in front of both of them. Mustache is going a lot slower. Cam is not the leading horse. Damiano came to a full stop on the chicane and just... Wow. Well then. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Is that why he disqualified himself then? I'd assume so. Here comes Lucas. He's the next one to the line that's actually on a lap that means something. Mustache is just in front here, but not really doing an awful lot with the second down the last time we checked. His lap almost sliding too much there for Lucas as he's yet to set a lap. Going through the final couple of corners now. pace is good. That's fair enough, fair enough. It looked like Lucas to the line, goes to the final corner, 13, 14, 14, 7 is only good enough for 10th. What about Cam? Cam's next on the line, but he's invalidated his lap, so that's the end of his qualifying session. So, who is the next one to the line? It looks like Mango, but Mango has invalidated, so Mango's qualifying is over. Yep, more than definitely over now. So, is that Jedler? That is Jedler's going to be the first one to the line then. Let's see. Well, Mustache is out. Like, well, certainly Mango's out. We go through the final couple of corners here on Jedler. Jedler had a very good go at Thursday night. In DKMN here around Imola. Looking to try and double up around Imola. This time 13. 13-9 is still only good enough for 5th. Who's next? It is Vessel to the line next, I believe. He is the 10th up. It's enough to move him to 7th. Cucumber is going to follow that. Cucumber up to 2nd, only just beaten. Volcano to the line now. Again, just beaten all of them within 400ths of a second. Seb now, the only real way to get to actually beat Gatkowski, and he's been beat by 11 thousandths of a second in the top 4, split by 400ths. Wow. That is extremely close. We might have one hell of a race here. Jesus Christ. Gatkowski, Seb, Cucumber, Volcano, all going at it. Top 4 split by a 400th of a second. Mango 0.1 in 5th. That's probably a little disheartening. Absolutely excellent driving from the top 5. Mango apparently bottled 2 attempts on his lap as well. Could have had all 5 split by less than 1/10 of a second. Jedler 3.25 attempts back. Then Vessel and Cam and Rudy all split themselves by about just 1.5 tenths, as they look to have a little bit of a fight in the midfield. And wow. And we're waiting for everyone to go in, well, everyone to load up now so we can go into the actual race. Just making a couple of messages. Here we go. It's 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Who's going to get the better start here? And I think it's going to be... It looked like Seb actually got the better start here. Seb's actually hit the front. Mustache gets past Cam and Seb's hit the front, and Cucumber's got a good start too. And the Ferraris have hit the front and are flying. We've also got a bit of a problem in the midfield here, and I think there's a couple of crashes. Yep, Omar's gone and Mustache has gone, and I think Rudy's gone too. And we might be looking at virtual and then possibly a full safety car as well. Omar manages to make himself a position in the process. The 2 Ferraris flying out the gates. I wanted to get to the tyres, can do now. Mediums on 3, hards on the rest, apart from Omar. Look at that. Good start by both the Ferraris, and the Ferrari on the medium tyres looking to make them actually work. Gakowski pretty much in the exact same position as he was on Thursday night in terms of the tyres. Obviously this time on Thursday he was quite the further way back, and here comes the end of the virtual safety car, and Seb has got a decent lead as we go back as we go into the end of lap 1. And a few pit stops. Unless there's damage here, I'm not entirely sure why. Mustache gets 5 seconds of speed into the pit lane, and Mustache is out. We've also got a spinning Omar, who's currently still last. Rudy's out as well. Well then, Omar gets 5 seconds of speed in the pit lane as well. So we've got Seb versus Cucumber. As about 4 tenths split those two. Omar's out the session as well, and we're down to 11 already, and we're on lap 1. 4 of which have just made their pit stops. Wow. It looks like the top 5 will be going at it. The Mercedes 4 and 5 right now. Gakowski splitting the Ferraris and the Mercedes. And right now, we could have a very interesting race. Mango gets past Vessel, who actually had a bit of a problem. I think Vessel lost his front wing. Yeah, he has. He definitely lost his front wing. And that's going to be pretty damaging to his race. As we go back to the front, and it looks like we're already in a 5-horse race for this one. Seb currently has 6 tenths of a second on Cucumber. Further 7 tenths back is Gakowski, followed by Volcano, another 6 tenths back, and just under a second Jedler in 5th. And wow, he's out. Well then, we're down 4 people and already down to 10. We go through Sector 1 right now and into the beginning of Sector 2. I think Mango's just having a bit of a problem trailing off the back of the pack. Lucas, Jinx, Damiano and Cam all going to go past the rest of the group that have already DNF'd. No one out of DRS range yet. At the front of the grid, still got 5. No, really going for it. Seb leads this group. Cucumber second. Nothing has changed since the last time we ran you through the order. The only thing that has changed is now Volcano is losing his grip on Gakowski a little bit here. And it doesn't seem like people are too happy in the chat. Cucumber gets 3 seconds for track limits warnings, and that might come back to bite him at the end of this. Volcano past Gakowski all over again. Oh, can't get past, sorry, and Gakowski broke DRS is what I meant to say, and got distracted for a split second. So, looks like the Mercedes aren't able to hold up with the Aston Martin, who's just about able to hold up with the Ferraris. I don't think there's going to be rain this time to save Gakowski. We look like we've got a few overtake going on. The back of the field overtake from Damiano on Jinx, who's got that turn 1 and 2 quite awfully wrong. But he's still within touch and distance. Also, the second closest battle we have on the grid. As the two Ferraris closing in on each other, Mango picked up 3 seconds. That's not good news for him, albeit 28 seconds clear of the guy behind right now. We go through to, the final corner, and here we go with Cucumber on Seb. Cucumber with the use of DRS is going to make quick work of that. Gakowski, I believe, does have the DRS for the straight, but really isn't able to do an awful lot with it, and is struggling to stay within that 1 second barrier. Gets it within 9 tenths, just about 9 tenths now. Volcano 1.6 further back from Gakowski as we are starting to see a couple of trains form here. Also that Jinx isn't really able to close on Damiano as much as he thought he might be able to. Seb currently still in the lead of the race when you factor in time penalties. 3 seconds right now given to Cucumber for track limits earlier on in the race. Gatkowski gaining a little time on Seb. Seb not really doing an awful lot against his Ferrari teammate. And there's a lot of, well, I say a lot of work to do, but he just needs to hold off Gatkowski for now. Jinx gets 3 seconds to track limits, which will see him, well, probably struggle against Damiano now. We see Jedler. We got the 2 Mercedes now going at it on lap 6 with the DRS, and Jedler's going to get past Volcano and build probably a couple of attempts into the gap as well. 3 tenths as they go through the first chicane. And that means that Volcano won't be able to fire back immediately. He's going to just sit behind and hope for something to happen, as Jedler is starting to close that gap in on Gatkowski until he made a little bit of an error out the hairpin. It's definitely possible that Jedler might be able to bring him and his teammate all the way back into DRS range. And if he can do that, we have a five-way fight for the lead again. It looks like Volcano's struggling to hold with Jedler right now, who is ever so slightly catching Gatkowski, but it really isn't enough. We got the rest of the grid. We've got problems in sector 2, and I think that's Mango. That is Mango in the middle of sector 2 that really isn't having a fun time with this. Here comes Seb with DRS. Can he get his Ferrari teammate? He's not going to get his Ferrari teammate. Gatkowski closing in now. Cucumber leading to Seb to Gatkowski as we have a 3-horse race to the win here. And Robin just picked up 3 seconds at the second half of this race. Really isn't, well, this leaderboard really isn't getting to grips with this race whatsoever, as Mango 10 seconds off the next guy in front of him. And Robin further 24 seconds off Mango after they've all done their pit stops already, until now, when Mango has gone round and luckily only damaged the tyres. So look at the rest of the car, looks to be fine. And they removed the yellow flag as we continue on. Still, nothing really changed at the front of the grid. However, Gatkowski struggling to stay within a second, and Jedler has finally got back within that second, so we now have a 4-horse race. Whether or not Volcano can find himself back in this as well is a question we're going to answer as we go along. And there you go, Seb back in front of Cucumber. Rudimentary move there as DRS helped Seb out enormously. They are actually able to break that 1 second mark to Gatkowski now, who's got to get a move on. Albeit Gatkowski's on hard tyres right now compared to the 2 in front's medium tyres. So we'll see realistically the actual length of what Gatkowski can do later on. And Mango is out the session. 5 seconds for speed in the pit lane. He span as well and decided not to continue, so we're down 5 people in this race already after 8 laps. And it looks like at the moment we've only got a couple of battles left on the grid. Damiano got past Lucas as well, as him and Jinx may form a 3-way train at the moment. Robin Lucas currently stuck in the middle of it, probably about to get attacked from both sides. Well, Jinx definitely doesn't have to pit again. We'll see if Damiano, Lucas and Cam can make softs go. And here comes Cucumber back on Seb, and they're just switching back and forth on this straight every other lap. It doesn't really matter to them at the moment, considering Gatkowski cannot hold his own right now with the time, as Jedler is coming after him at a rate of knots. Albeit Cucumber just picked up another 3, so 6 on the board for him. We'll see what's going on as we go through, well, through the middle sector down towards Aquaminarale now. Can Jedler hold on to Gatkowski for long enough to make a real move here? Also, Seb about half a second back on Cucumber, but Cucumber with 6 seconds worth of penalties, and I don't think Seb has any problem staying where he is. It's a real question who's going to be on the podium now. And Cam's pit onto the soft tyres, which is interesting. Be at all surprised if we're about to see a retirement from the Haas. As we see the Ferrari come by, and the Haas has now been lapped, so that is essentially the end of his race. It's unfortunate for Cam. Really unfortunate for Cam. We've got yellow flags. Which is actually just the Haas coming out of the pit lane, I think. Seb didn't make a move on Cucumber. Jedler hasn't made a move on Gatkowski. But we can see as we go along that the gaps are shortening now at the front of the grid. First and second going at it. Third and fourth going at it. Lucas and Damiano going to go side by side into the first chicane. It looks like Lucas is going to come out on top. Going to use some of that ERS to make sure he sticks it. And he gets it done into the end of sector 1. That's pretty nice. Nice going there from Lucas. Against Damiano, and Jinx is trying to hold himself in there too. Got 4 different sets of battles, oh well, 3 different sets of battles going on at the moment. This just includes an extra person. It looks like Seb versus Cucumber. It's going to happen this time round, and it's going to go in the favour of Seb with the DRS. Cucumber's going to try and fight him. I don't think it's going to be to any great success. And it isn't going to be to any great success as they have a 2.5 second lead over Gatkowski for the moment in time. And after qualifying, you would have thought that this would be a lot closer than it currently is. Bear in mind, Cucumber has 6 seconds worth of penalties, so realistically, Seb has, what, nearly a 3 second advantage as Damiano goes past Lucas on the home straight again. It looks like Jinx may have got past Lucas too. Lucas having an awful corner, and that just completely ends all the battle going on in the back of the grid. Which leaves us with 2. Gatkowski versus Jedler, and Jedler never really able to make that move on Gatkowski, even getting within a 1/10 of a second. Volcano picks up another 3 as well. But it's really a mute point until they go into pit. And there goes Seb. Well, there goes Cucumber on Seb. These two will continue to go at it. Lucas picks up 3 more as well. The Haas not enjoying their day. Got 2 battles going on. Cucumber versus Seb, sorry, which seems to happen at the end of every lap or the end of every other lap. They go down the straight with DRS. And then you've got Gatkowski versus Jedler, which is waiting for a move to happen but hasn't happened yet. Gatkowski closing in on the front by about 0.2 of a second on this lap. It looks like Seb just having a bit of a problem sticking to the back of Cucumber whenever Cucumber gets in the lead of this race. Well, on track anyway. I think it's a very long shot, even 12 laps into this race, even only 12 laps into this race even. It really isn't likely that 6 seconds is going to get built up between Cucumber and the rest of the grid. Not even just his teammate, just not even going to head to Gatkowski at this rate. It looks like Seb going to use the DRS to get close, but won't be anywhere near the position to make a move here. on Cucumber into turn 1, and then through turn 2, well, the 2, 3, 4 chicane. It looks like Jedler not able to get close enough either. Volcano now pits onto the medium tyre. We'll see where he comes out in relation to Damiano. Gatkowski lost 4/10 of a second on the last lap or so, and that gap's opened up to 3 seconds realistically. Well, 3 seconds to Seb, 3.5 to Cucumber in the lead. The two Ferraris continue to go at it. Gatkowski still fighting against Jedler, but unfortunately for Jedler, that most of that time's about to go by the oncoming blue flags, which is for Cam, I'm pretty sure. Volcano got out about 10 seconds clear of Damiano in the end. We continue to watch as they go through turn 1 and just goes into turn 2. It depends on what you call turn 1 here, because there's a lot of different options for turn 1. Because you've got a slight kink right after the finish line, which probably has to be called turn 1, which makes the chicane turn 3. But I'll leave that up to interpretation of everyone else, and it looked like Cam has just decided to unlap himself against the 2 cars directly behind him and got 5 seconds for ignoring a blue flag in the process. Yellow flag in sector 3 is a Haas, and I think that's Lucas. Lucas has had a bit of a problem there. Looked like he's caught the car from any real damage, but a bit of a problem nonetheless. Seb's still half a second behind Cucumber and has to try and find something to make this work. If he wants to win the race on track, that is. If he wants to win the race, staying within 6 seconds of Cucumber should be a relatively easy task. Especially considering he's been following him extremely closely the entire race. Gatkowski 3.6 seconds further back now. And Cucumber now over a 4-second gap to Gatkowski, and we'll get to really see whether or not that can happen. Here comes a freeway into turn 1 as Cam is still ignoring blue flags. And Jedler looks to have got past Gatkowski. And it looks like Jedler's having a bit of a problem there on the exit of the chicane. Manages to hold himself in front of Gatkowski for 3rd. That's a huge problem here for these two. Cucumber's been able to break that 6-second gap at this rate, and finally Cam has decided to move out of the way of these two drivers. And we can really see what Jedler and Gatkowski can do now to try and catch up with the front two. So, there's 3 seconds for Cam, who's gone a bit deep after the final chicane there, and his day's gone from bad to worse. Lucas also in the pit now as well. I think he should avoid getting lapped for the moment in time. Also, Cucumber now into the pits. And Seb stayed out to go 1 lap longer. He'll do, unless he's going on to doing a different strategy that could also be the case. Cam's still trying to pull himself alongside Gatkowski and Jedler, and nothing's going to change there. Cucumber's going to come out in quite a distance. Actually, is there quite a distance? I don't know, that's Volcano, I think. Yeah, it's Volcano that's coming out there as well. Volcano's had a nice little couple of laps then, because Cucumber was in the lead of the race, and here comes Volcano, who pitted early to avoid everything. Lost a little bit of time there. Well, I don't know what happened on the exit of the chicane, but Volcano had a shot. Him really close to Cucumber, and for some reason blew it. 2.7 seconds now split the two, and I think that would be enough to put him in 3rd place as they continue on. Yeah, as we go through. And it looks like Seb has now come into pit halfway through the race. So we get to see now, where is Cucumber against Seb? Also Gatkowski coming against Jedler here down toward turn 3, the chicane if you want to call it that. Tamarella chicane. As Gatkowski finally gets back in front of Jedler. Volcano picks up 3 seconds for track limits, and that's not a good time. And Volcano pits and retires from the session, which is an interesting way of going about things. The extra lap giving Cucumber the ability to break the DRS on Seb. Now all he has to do is break 6 seconds. No pressure. We are now 6 people down on the lobby. One more we lose. One more we've lost half the lobby from this race. Lucas picked up 3 more. Also Cam has been lapped, so I guess you could technically call it half the lobby lost. Jedler half a second from Gatkowski, but Gatkowski now has clear air. 3 seconds to Cam. Volcano leads, which means we have to sort out our hosts. Well, see who's hosting and hoping they hold up. Looks like Cam's going to end up above Volcano as he stayed and somehow inherited 8th place as a result. Just in case anyone else crashes out as well, he might get even higher. Also Seb 1.4 seconds now behind Cucumber. Seb knows that he's got to stay within 6. Gatkowski and Jedler both have to pit still. So see whether or not the large overcut, the alternate strategy, is enough to actually make it work. Looks like Damiano just got past Jinx, and he has. Up to 5th goes Damiano as he gets past the Red Bull. These two have been fighting the entire way through. And Jinx closing in on the Williams driver. Not really able to do anything here into the second chicane of the lap. Jedler losing time on Gatkowski. Jinx losing a little bit of ground here on Damiano. Or was, until that hairpin came around. But Seb is also gaining quite rapidly on Cucumber here. I think he might be about to jump himself into the second, and Gatkowski picks up 5 for speeding in the pit lane. That is an awful time to do that. We'll see where, well, Cam's out the session entirely, which means we see we're down to half the grid. Jedler currently out in front. Gatkowski way behind. Way behind. 10 seconds. And Jinx goes past Damiano there in towards turn 1. Into turn 2 even, and Jinx cuts a corner, gets the Tamarella chicane all wrong, and it's allowed for Damiano to go side by side and then off the track as they come together. And Damiano certainly going to lose out there. I'm not sure Jinx gave enough space on the outside there. Either way, they came together. Damiano losing a bunch of time. And also lost a bunch of wear on his tyres, considering they went through a lot of gravel there. And Jedler comes into pits. Gatkowski was 9.5 seconds back. I could imagine that Jedler really isn't going to be that far off of Gatkowski, maybe just over a second. We're down to 7 in the race. Lucas is 21 seconds off the grid. Gatkowski gets past Jedler, and it's going to be about 2 seconds to split the two, actually. So Gatkowski having to do stuff now to get himself onto the podium. Needs an extra 3 seconds on Jedler. Gets an extra 2 attempts at the moment. Seb still well within 6 seconds on Seb's still well within 6 seconds of Cucumber here. We see the penalties. Hard tyres on both of the Ferraris at the front. Damiano versus Jinx all over again. They go side by side once again, this time up the hill. And Jinx is going to hold on for a split second longer. Damiano not really able to make that move stick, but we all know that Damiano has 3 seconds less than Jinx, so if he can hold himself disciplined for the next 12 laps, he should be able to hold himself in the top 5. Gatkowski picks up the fastest lap of the race so far, 8.2 splits. He's currently got an extra second on Cucumber, so he's got, what, 7 seconds to catch if that's going to play a role. And he has a good chunk of nearly 13 seconds to catch up on Seb. Seb has a very comfortable lead after you factor in the penalties. Damiano versus Jinx again. They head into the first chicane, and here we go. Damiano's pulling alongside on the outside again. We saw what happened to this a couple of laps ago. Damiano plays it safe this time. It looks like about 0.3 of a second splits these two. We've got 7/10 splitting the first two as well. The rest of the grid seemingly spread out. 3 seconds now splits Gatkowski and Jedler. Penalties are going to play a huge factor in this, apart from Robin, who picked up 15 anyway, but it's solidly up the back of the grid. Oh, Jinx has gone deep. Jinx has gone very deep. I think that's going to allow the Williams to get by. The Williams, however, plays for the DRS as Jinx goes off the track. Jinx goes off the track. It looked like he locked up because there wasn't even much of an attempt in terms of a break there. As he goes into the pits. And goes onto a pair of soft tyres. Lucas having a bit of a problem there. And having a bit of a routine problem there coming out the final 2 corners. And now needs 9 seconds on Jinx. The question is, how is he going to get that? And if he gets it off this pit stop, is he going to be able to maintain 9 seconds? It looks like quite a decent gap at the moment. Going through the first chicane, losing the car as he goes. He probably needs a new setup for Imola after this, though. He has 8.5 on Jedler. I struggled to see how he holds that. Jinx, sorry. I've been calling him Jedler for a while now, haven't I? Jinx on Lucas, sorry. Jinx is closing that rapidly. Yeah, it's not going to happen here for Lucas, who's just going to end 7th regardless. Damiano now going to drive the next 9 or 10 laps on his own. Jedler currently 2.5, or just over 2.5 from Gatkowski. But the 5 seconds for Gatkowski is going to put him basically 2.5 behind Jedler, and he needs to get a move on. He's currently 6.5 for just shy behind Seb. He needs to get within a second of Cucumber if he wants to make a position up there for the top, for the podium. He is catching the Ferraris quite quickly, but whether or not he's able to catch them up enough by the end of the race is still to be seen. Seb gonna get DRS as we head down the straight after this corner. He exits the final corner now down the straight, and Lucas is gonna get past Damiano, who I think has just pit. He has just pit. And there you go, Seb on the inside of Cucumber with DRS. Gets it done, and he now leads the race, which is good news for Gatkowski, which means because Seb can now, well, Seb is potentially holding Cucumber up, especially if they continue to fight. That brings Gatkowski closer to that gap he needs to be within to catch Cucumber. And Jedler picks up 3 seconds I don't think he could have done a worse thing than that right now, because he has just dropped himself off of the podium with that penalty. Lucas picks up 3 more, is now on 18 seconds worth of penalties. As the front group are catching up to the back of the pack. 2 Ferraris catching the Haas, the Red Bull, and the Williams as we go along. Not sure if they're going to be able to lap anyone though. Cucumber still about half a second, as Lucas is going to actually retire from the session, and we're down to 6. Jinx is going to have to do a lot to get past Damiano, who should just close out the top 5 from here. And here comes Seb, here comes Cucumber with the DRS again. And Seb's got nothing against that. But it is bringing Gatkowski into this a little bit at a time. It was 5 seconds, it was 6.5 seconds, it's now 5.5 seconds. And the longer this goes on, the more chance Gatkowski has of just sneaking in to maybe the top 2. I think Seb has this one wrapped up unless he spins. But there you go, as we can watch Seb try to hang on to the back of Cucumber, as we were watching Cucumber hang on to the back of Seb for the last couple of laps. And Seb is closing in up toward the chicane. The exit of the chicane is usually very telling on whether or not you'd be able to get them with DRS on the next lap. Seb's still got 76% and never really been troubled at all. Jinx out the session as well. He gets 5 seconds to speed in the pit lane, but he knows he'd come 6th. Regardless, and he was the host at the moment, so he's left as well, and we find a new one. Seb, 0.2 of a second with the RS, is going to make quick work of Cucumber here. And there you go. Does get it done. And is in the lead of this race, on track and with penalties now. Seb versus Cucumber, and then you got Gatkowski versus Jedler behind. There's about a 1/10 of a second split. Those two after penalties as well. Damiano's in 5th. Basically on his own at the moment. As we continue to watch. That was 1 lap 26 of 32. 0.3 of a second currently splits Seb and Cucumber. Seb gets a better Aqua Minerale, and does he get a better chicane? He does not. A little bit of a better exit there for Cucumber. It's not the greatest of exits. He has gained a 10th, and well, that will be enough for Cucumber to regain that position with DRS in a moment. Gatkowski, however, in within 4 seconds now. Jedler's close to taking Gatkowski's position, and there goes Cucumber on Seb. Bearing in mind, Gatkowski needs to be within a second of Cucumber to end in the top 2, provided that he is himself not less than 2 seconds ahead of Jedler, who would then sneak in as well. Damiano picks up 3 seconds more. He currently sits on 6th and 5th. We continue to watch Seb versus Cucumber as they play hot potato with the lead on track. Gatkowski is closing in, but I don't know if he's closing in enough at this point. Damiano picks up 3 more. He's on 9 now as he sits in 5th on the race. Gatkowski really didn't want that penalty. That penalty has screwed him over. Right now, he'd be sitting very comfortably in 2nd. He currently has a 4 to 5/10 of a second gap to Jedler. So 3rd is looking increasingly likely for Gatkowski, depending on how well Jedler can manage the last 5 laps of this race. Here comes Seb on Cucumber with DRS again down the inside. We've seen this move on repeat the entire race, and now Seb hits the front of the race all over again. Gatkowski needs to take advantage of this fighting. He's running out of time. He's only got 5 laps to go. He really needs to be catching about maybe 6/10 of a second a lap to this point. If he wants to get inside, Jedler picks up 3 more, and then there goes the final nail in the coffin of his podium hopes. So it looks like the 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to stick to 1, 2, 3, 4, provided there's not a spin. We might be heading towards race order as we currently see it. Cucumber is going to be close to within Seb. He's going to get in with DRS down the straight here, actually. We've seen this move a lot. We would probably be in benefit if we just put up a montage of these two just switching positions down toward the first chicane rather than the rest of the race. Jedler's finally broken himself inside that 2-second margin right after he picked up 3 more to put him on 6 seconds. So yeah, that's comedic timing if I've ever seen one from Jedler to try and attack Gatkowski, who is losing a lot of time now, especially on Seb and on Cucumber. And it's not really, I think he's given up on the top 2 as well. I feel like he knows his mission is failed. He shouldn't have too much problem holding on to that. Credit to Damiano for racing even though he's 53 seconds behind the next person. And he got 9 seconds of penalty to tack on to that as well. Seb, the only person that's kept it entirely clean today, and he's going to be the one that benefits from it. Do we watch DRS enter the screen there? Half a second split, Cucumber and Seb. Is he going to be able to get this move again? He's within 2/10, 1/10. And he is going to get that move down the inside again before the first chicane. And it's pretty nice to watch these two go back and forth. It would be even more nice if Cucumber didn't have penalties, so it would be more meaningful for the top of this race. Jedler's closing in on Gatkowski rather rapidly. 1.5 second split those two now. If Jedler still needs 4 seconds realistically to make it actually matter. Actually no, because they've only 1 second, so he needs probably 2, maybe just over 2.5 to make complete sure of it. It looks like we're continuing to fight between Seb and between Cucumber, who Cucumber has got far better exits from that chicane all day, and that always means that they've been able to make this switch on the home straight, and they're going to make it again. DRS enacted here for Cucumber, and it's a very easy move this time. Gets it well before the first chicane. And now we'll see how well Seb can hold on to the back of his Ferrari teammate. One thing's for sure, it'll be Seb 1, Cucumber 2. And it looks like Gatkowski 3. With a lap and a half left of this race to go. 2.5 if you're Damiano in 5th. They go over the sector 2, the end of sector 2, the beginning of sector 3 for the second to last time. Seb versus Cucumber. There won't be another switch after this lap. So if he wants to win on track, Damiano's about to go into the pit lane. I can't tell whether he's about to retire or go for a fastest lap. Interesting either way. But if there's going to be one last switch to win it on track, Seb's got to do it now. Seb's going to get DRS. Will he win this on track? He's got to get past Cucumber. And it's pretty easily done as well. As they head down towards the first chicane, and it's 0.5 of a second split in the two. So Seb just has to not spin now. Or have a spin that costs him 7 seconds. One of the two. Seb, half a lap left of this race. Gets through, well, 2/3 of a lap. Just ended the first sector. Damiano decided he didn't want to do the extra lap by the looks of things. And Cucumber isn't going to be able to overtake Seb on track here. And not enough time for him to do that. And with that, we're on lap 32, the final chicane of the race at Imola. And he's burning the last of his energy all the way down to the second to last. He goes through the second to last. No problems here. Just like there's been no problems for the rest of the race. And Seb, unfortunate on Thursday not to win in Imola in the Esports League, will win here today. Cucumber's going to get second. Gatkowski does enough for third. Jedler's going to go up in fourth, and Damiano takes fifth. And that's the last of the finishers. People DNFing left, right, and centre. But yeah, and that is how it ended. Ferrari 1-2. It's about as easy as it could get. And there you go. And that is that. And, well, decent race. Of course, X can't win by pure pace as usual. It looked like that fight hasn't really dissipated. Gatkowski ending third in that one either way. But with that, we'll end that there in a bit.